Don't be surprised if there's a bounce back in the Bayou in 2021. We're talking LSU football with our guy, Lon Phillip Sullivan from LSU Odyssey. Lon, how's it going?
Going good, Mark. How about you, my man?
Doing well. Good to see you.
Good to see you
And
too, man.
the last time we got together, you set us up pretty well with the defensive coordinator candidates and your number one choice, who turned out to be the number one choice. Unfortunately, some contractual obligations got in the way.
Yes. Ryan Nielsen, he was the guy. He was, the Saints obviously crashed out of the playoffs. But earlier last week, we had heard that there was an understanding between Ryan Nielsen, who used to play for Coach Orgeron, and Coach Orgeron about taking the defensive coordinator position. And there was a firm understanding going into the playoff game this Sunday that he would take the defensive coordinator job when the Saints' playoff time ended. It ended this weekend, and so Monday morning he told Sean Payton, "I will be taking the LSU defensive coordinator / defensive line job," and Sean Payton was okay. And then he continued the interview process with LSU. They're going through his contract, and that's when they found it, the non-compete clause, which said that he could not go back to the college ranks straight from the Saints, and the deal was axed. It was then up to Sean Payton, and Sean Payton was pissed. He did not like how this had gone down. He did not like how it went kind of behind his back all throughout the last week. He didn't like the fact that what we reported as that there was an understanding between him and Orgeron that was completely proven true. This was very quick. Agents were involved from the beginning, of course, but Nielsen and Orgeron have a father-son relationship. This was a reunion that Nielsen wanted badly. He wanted to be the LSU defensive coordinator. Sean Payton did not let that happen, but Sean Payton is giving Nielsen a 3-year extension and an assistant head coach title. But I feel so bad for Ryan Nielsen right now, and for Coach Orgeron, because this is a reunion both of them had wanted for a long, long time.
Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down LSU, courtesy Lon Phillip Sullivan. Catch him and the rest of the staff there at LSU Odyssey. Of course, smash the like button. That helps us here build the channel. And, of course, subscribe. Hit that bell for the notifications. That way you know we're going live. And, hey, if you enjoy the content, other people will as well. Share the videos on social media. So, next man up, I guess. You got some other candidates for us, Lon.
Yes. The first guy has to be Glenn Schulman, co-defensive coordinator at Georgia. There was a lot of talk of Dan Lanning, the other co-defensive coordinator at Georgia, taking that job at Texas. Turns out he's not going to. Turns out that somebody from Washington is going to be taking that job. So it seems like Steve Sarkisian will find his coordinator from the University of Washington. I can't remember the name right now of that coordinator, but it will not be Dan Lanning or Glenn Schulman. So they're both in the mix. I don't think LSU are interested in Dan Lanning whatsoever, but Glenn Schulman is a name that I have heard consistently from the beginning as a target for LSU, that he was on the list. Well, he's somebody we've written extensively about, Glenn Schulman, but he was definitely on the low totem poles because we didn't think LSU would strike out on Marcus Freeman. We didn't think LSU would strike out on Ryan Nielsen. I mean, both of them had verbally and then, agreed to be LSU head coaches LSU defensive coordinators before things went awry. But Glenn Schulman, he's definitely out there. I will say this: it will take more than $700K, $800K to get him out of Georgia. He is Kirby Smart's right-hand man since his time at Alabama. He will not want to part with Glenn Schulman without some type of a king's ransom. So LSU should be looking forward to paying $1.5 million at least annual salary for Glenn Schulman, who's making around $650K right now at Georgia. So we would have to double that salary to get Glenn Schulman from Georgia, if not more. And if that might not even be possible, because Remember, this is Kirby Smart's right-hand guy. This is his defensive coordinator in waiting. I don't think he wants to lose either Lanning or Schulman, but he knows he's going to lose one of them. But losing both would be a disaster for Kirby Smart in Georgia. Is he a take for LSU? I think so. Also, there's Joe Barry being thrown in the mix. He was a candidate for the linebackers coach job, and now his name is being heard in the defensive coordinator role. I don't think he's a candidate for the defensive coordinator position. I wouldn't support that hire myself either, but his name has been tossed in there. Pete Golding from Alabama. I want to go after Saban's most trusted defensive guy. You know me, Mark. I know, keep your enemies close. I want to go get Pete Golding. He's a Hammond, Louisiana native. He's my pick. I'd like for us to go get him, but here's the thing. He was the subject of a bidding war between Texas and Alabama already this offseason, where Saban continuously matched Sarkisian's offers, continuously matched and continuously topped Sarkisian's offers for Pete Golding. So while this war went on over Pete Golding going to Texas, LSU never really were on the Pete Golding radar. He was kind of in the background, just a name being thrown around. Now he is very much an option, I believe, but at the same time, we're going to have to shell out a lot to get Saban's guy, especially with this news of this matching and this bidding war with Texas. If there's a hard time for Saban letting him go to Texas, there's going to be a hell of a time for LSU to get him out of Alabama. But it is possible. And he is a Hammond, Louisiana native. He does have love for LSU. I know that. Is it possible to get him? That would be very interesting. But Glenn Schulman, Pete Golding, names I really, really am interested by.
Pete Kwiatkowski is the University of Washington defensive coordinator who has moved on to Texas to join Steve Sarkisian's staff.